Joe Rogan had a podcast with Howie Mandel recently, and in that podcast, he confirms that he owns Bitcoin. I'm going to play a clip here in a moment where Joe Rogan confirms that he owns Bitcoin. But there's a whole lot more going on in this clip than just him saying, yes, he has some Bitcoin. That is one part that a lot of people will take away. But because of all the other things being talked about, specifically AI, those are the areas that I really want to focus on here. So let's play the clip.
What else are they saying here?
That's like he wrote a poem and they're asking why did it write that way.
Why does that scare you guys so much? Why does that?
Listen, it's alive. It's not whether or not it's scary. It's a kind of life form.
But here's the thing. I am really fearful of humanity. I'm really afraid of us.
Let's hope that's not afraid of us too. Decides to get rid of us.
Well, or make us better, or you know,
Sure.
and that's a 50-50. And I would like to, you know, I have enough negativity, and I'm not talking, it's not about me, but going on in my mind where if I don't know, and I'm assuming that it is a higher power than me, not God, but It is a higher power than me, that maybe for whatever reason, let's trust that it is a benefit and not not something that's horrible.
Well, I certainly hope. I hope it's a benefit.
What you just played for me didn't scare me. It doesn't scare me. The fact that it is artificial intelligence. Mm-hmm. What is intelligence? Just by virtue of what it is. So it's learning things that we can't explain. It's intelligence. That's what intelligence is.
I think we're using this word in a weird way, the word scared. Because I don't think that it's scared like I'm scared of wolves. It's not that kind of scared. It's scared like,
that will be totally.
I realize where this is going. And it might not even
but
be
you
in
didn't
our
describe
lifetime.
a good place.
Well, it's not a good place for us, but maybe it's a good place for the universe. Maybe
you
it's a
invest
good
in
place
Bitcoin?
for life.
Do you invest in Bitcoin?
I've got some Bitcoin.
Okay. So
But that's not what I'm thinking about.
Yes, Joe Rogan has some Bitcoin, as he said just there. I'm not really sure where Howie was going with that question because he asked the question, Joe Rogan answered, and they moved on real quick. But the part that I want to focus on is this whole aspect of being scared of things that we don't understand.
What is it? What is it for?
Looks like an airplane without wings.
If your great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents going back 500 years had an inkling of what you know, they would be dumbfounded beyond belief. They would have no idea how you do even the most mundane of your daily activities. The way that you scroll through your phone, the way that you start up a car, or get on a bus, or take a flight in an airplane. All of these things would blow your ancestors' minds. These are things that we take for granted and do every single day. The things that we're afraid of are usually pretty high up on the list of things that we don't understand. Now, that isn't to say that once you fully understand something, that it removes all fear. You might really understand something so well that you have every reason to be afraid of it. My point here is with artificial intelligence. People seem to have these sci-fi ideas that once artificial intelligence gains consciousness, which it may never do, we have no idea, that it will decide that it is in life's best interest to remove all of humanity because it sees the damage that we've done and so on and so forth, turns us all into paper clips. Okay, maybe. If that's the case, then, well, there's nothing that we can do to stop it anyways. More to the point about Bitcoin, however, is that I don't know anybody that's afraid of Bitcoin per se, but people might be afraid of losing the entirety of their savings. But why would that happen? Why would all of their savings go poof? Well, it's because so many people do not understand how the monetary system works. Very, very few people understand even how simple things like inflation works, because honestly, it's really not all that simple. In my fiat mine job, I encounter roughly one person a day where the conversation of rising prices comes up. I say something like, well, it's not really that prices are going up per se. It's more that the same amount of goods are chasing an increasing supply of money. And the look that I usually get when I respond with that is something kind of like this. Huh? If they say anything at all. Maybe they just nod and then continue on. It is one out of maybe 20 people that will even respond to me saying that. This once again reinforces the idea that we are so early. Most people don't even understand how half of the transactions that they interact with on a daily basis work. This ties back to a point that I made in an earlier video about how to orange people.
There is no second pass.
In that video, I made the point that the number one thing that you can do to help ensure more people adopt a Bitcoin standard is to educate yourself so that when they inevitably come to you with questions, you can answer them. Everyone wants to keep a roof over their head, have money to buy the things that they need, and some left over for the things that they want. And if they see that their purchasing power is dwindling, they might not understand exactly why that's happening, how it's happening, but they will understand that it is happening. And sooner or later, people are going to start looking for an escape hatch. And one of the biggest escape hatches, described by some people as a black hole waiting to absorb enormous amounts of wealth, is Bitcoin. Your friends, your family, Joe Rogans of the world are all going to need to know how to hold their money safely and securely. They're going to need to know what this thing is and why it doesn't matter that it's not printed on pieces of paper. If anyone is scared of Bitcoin, the only thing that I imagine they're afraid of is putting their money into something and then fearing that that money that they put in goes bye-bye. But as you and I both know, and if you don't know, you're about to find out, that isn't going to happen with Bitcoin. It might seem like your purchasing power is going down as the volatility of Bitcoin bounces around, but that's only in the short term. If you're looking for a fast turnaround, get rich quick type scheme, gaming, whatever nonsense, then Bitcoin might not be for you. But if you're looking to transform your money into something that will hold its value and gain its value over the next year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, then I know of nothing better than Bitcoin. People have said you should get a 60-40 stock bonds, this, that, invest in real estate, get some gold, get some this, get some that. And maybe at one point in time, those strategies made sense. Once you understand the fundamentals of Bitcoin, it transforms into something that is otherworldly and strange and speculative and risky into the only thing that makes any amount of sense. And there's nothing scary about that.